Natalie is a successful French businesswoman in marketing, specialized in beauty products, typically with a busy and dynamic life, balancing creative work, client relationships, and leadership responsibilities. She used to be a quite reserved teenager, and as a young adult she started to acknowledge the importance of people skills in business. It took her some time to know exactly how to interact with people of different designations and levels. Now she has a lot of clients from all walks of life, and due to her outstanding interpersonal skills, she can get engaged with them and foster good relationships both at work and in her private life as well. Natalie's journey started with identifying her areas for improvement. She had to get to know her strengths and weaknesses. She asked for feedback from other people consciously to identify the blind spots about herself. Self-assessment gave her an idea of which areas to develop, so she started with the basics and then moved on from there. One of the main constraints, which she struggled with, was verbal communication. She used to have serious issues with communication due to language problems. Before becoming a conscious and proficient speaker, she was scared of being made fun of, so she avoided mingling with strangers, and her language barriers prevented her from speaking to others at work. At her first workplace, the professional language of communication was English, so she soon realized that she needed to try and master this language if she wanted to be successful. First, she started to work on her vocabulary, and learning new words and uses helped her understand what others were speaking, and it boosted her confidence. Soon she became aware of the common mistakes she made and started to correct them to gain language proficiency. Besides pushing her voice to full effect, Natalie learnt about the importance of common lingo in the office to get closer with colleagues. She became aware of the fun language, jokes, and common views on certain aspects to interact with others at ease. At her first workplace she met Claude, who was a senior manager, and he served as a role model for Natalie. She looked up to him due to his superior communication and interpersonal skills. Natalie observed how he dealt with people in different situations and started to imitate him consciously. He served as a source of inspiration for Natalie, owing to his outstanding oratory skills too. He could speak to his subordinates and provide them valuable advice. Furthermore, he was an excellent orator, and Natalie borrowed several techniques from him to outgrow her fears in public speaking situations. In line with her verbal communication, she started to work on her body language, since it had a much greater impact than the words you actually spoke, and nonverbal communication plays a much bigger part than many of us are aware. She knew that her poor body language could reveal the lack of confidence and fear, and it might be interpreted as the signs of nervousness and tension. She was careful about picking the right kind of attire, proper posture and gait, greet people with a smile to express friendliness. She was careful about her brisk shake, impeccable grooming, and shoes to reinforce the message of her words, since she knew that they are much harder to fake than words. A couple of years passed and Natalie ascended the career ladder easily and was appointed to represent her company to a new client. She did not tend to possess stage fear, yet she came to the realization that coping with this situation and the stress that accompanied it was beyond her means. She decided to attend a stress management course that helped her to recognize, manage, and reduce stress in herself and others. She learned how to remain assertive, without becoming either passive or aggressive. The course allowed her to understand her own and others' emotions, and their effect on behavior and attitudes. She took the first steps towards understanding and managing the emotions of others to be able to understand and manage her own emotions, including understanding what motivated her. Later on, she kept on improving her emotional intelligence to see things from different perspectives, which was essential in a client-faced role like hers. Natalie contributed her success to two main further conscious efforts. Firstly, she did her best to practice her interpersonal skills in all the situations that she was in. As a marketing consultant, for instance, she needed to be adaptable and able to pivot her strategies when needed, analyze data and metrics to understand consumer behavior, market trends, and the effectiveness of marketing campaigns. Effective project management skills were necessary to ensure that projects were completed on time and within budget, not to mention the collaboration between different teams and departments, including sales, product development, and customer service. And the final element in developing and improving her interpersonal skills was to develop the habit of self-correction. She took her time to think about conversations and interpersonal interactions that enabled her to learn from her mistakes and successes, and continue to develop.